Hey everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. For us, over the past 6 years, I mean, we've learned a lot, and it's been very interesting. Advisors don't need better marketing. They need a right combination of strategy, execution, and technology. And that's ultimately why we built the fractional marketing manager model. We wanted to build something that ultimately helps advisors with their day-to-day workflows, but AI came in and changed everything, right? It made things more efficient, made things faster. And we wanted to take the combination of people and technology and AI and systems and bring all those things together in one place to make things happen. And today I have with me Joel. Joel is the founder of CMO Alpha. He's been doing the outsourced fractional marketing manager work for a while now, helping a lot of advisors in our space. He's actually based here in Kansas City, just like I am. We're both based here in Kansas City. So as most of you know, Kansas City is a financial services world. There's a lot of big companies here that started in financial services. So Joel, welcome.
Thanks, David. Yeah, it's funny how we ran into each other and then we realized that we're both in Kansas City. Like, how bizarre is that? So we were just talking earlier about how big the financial services world is, but then how small it actually is, like how many shared connections we have. And the fact that, again, we were just in the same city was so bizarre. It's like, why are we not getting coffee together once a quarter and touching base? And then it just built into this business relationship where we're like, hey, like we shared a lot of the same common thinking, same strategies. Like there's got to be some way for us to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're working with past clients that we've had before, and we're working together on projects. So it's like it's such a small world, but I love it. And we're all after the same thing. We're after trying to figure out how can we help advisors grow and improve their business and improve their practice. So yeah, I mean, just really diving right into that, right? I mean, with your background, helping firms and advisors, from a business perspective, what do you look at when you're coming into a business, right? Kind of walk me through your process. An advisor is like, hey, I feel like we need some help. What is it that you do? Like, how do you help the advisor, get going? Like, what's your process there?
Yeah, it looks very similar for every firm, even though the strategies that we put together are very unique for each of the firm because they all have different audiences. They have different, if they're doing local-based marketing, different regional things that come into play. Work with the leadership of the company. So we figure out from a strategy standpoint, like where is the firm itself trying to grow? Like what are its growth objectives? Are they at 50 million and want to be at 250? Are they at 250 and want to be $1 billion? A lot of the strategies, kind of scale with themselves, but so it really does start with the strategy first. Like where does the firm itself want to grow? And then using my years of experience, I want to say it's 20 plus, just to not make me sound too old, but we'll keep it at 20 plus years of experience. So I take that kind of taste, discernment, and experience to figure out what kind of marketing strategies do we need to put in place to then reach that level of success within the firm.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that makes a lot of sense. And, speaking of success, like, how do you measure success, right? I mean, there's a lot of different, pillars and things to kind of look at when you're thinking about KPIs and, how to measure analytics versus AUM. How do you kind of help guide advisors? And again, I know it's different, right? Like I played the CMO role for advisors for a long time. And that's why I want to bring in experts like you, right? That can come in and really give those advisors that time and attention they need. But how do you help them understand what success looks like?
Well, I think a lot of firms view marketing as just an expense center. It's a cost center. So anything I do, I always try to tie to a return on investment, the ROI. So we're putting money into marketing as an investment for a future return. These are financial advisors, and you're trying to find a return on your investment, right? So you always want to make sure you at least get $1 for $1. Otherwise, it's a bad business deal. But if you look at the customer lifetime value, a lot of those assets are sticky. So if you can recoup your marketing expense or your marketing investment in the first year, there's going to be a 5x, 6x, 10x return because that client's now going to stick around for 5 to 10 years or however long it might be. So I always try to tie all the marketing strategies I have to some sort of KPI or metric so that we understand that there is a measure of success. so that we aren't just kind of banging our head against the wall and continuously doing the marketing strategies that aren't delivering any sort of results. And so that's where I come in from a strategic leadership standpoint is, we create the strategies, we put them in place, we monitor them to make sure that they're performing well, and if they're not, we pivot. A lot of times you just have to try some things, and like I said earlier, what works for one advisor may not work for another. So I think it's just a matter of trying a lot of different strategies out and seeing what sticks, what resonates with your audience, and if it doesn't work, then let's quickly pivot and shift to something else that does.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't leave this conversation without talking about AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from your experience and what you've been, as you've been working with advisors, like from an executive leadership level, like how is AI having an impact, both negatively and positively?
I use AI all day long in my business, and I think advisors are starting to see it creep into all facets of their business. Whether it's AI note taking is kind of the first entry when it comes to using AI into their firms. But I think one of the coolest things that I've seen AI help with some of these firm founders, these people are visionaries. They have a concept of what they want to put in place for their firm. And so AI has been such a great idea generator for them that it expands their vision and actually creates something tangible. So if we're working with a website concept or a flyer, a brochure, or something that from a design standpoint, we're trying to take that concept that's in this founder's brain and then actually have something to give to the designer. That's shortened the time frame to get things back, because the founder can then go into Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, create some sort of concept and hand it off to the marketing firm and say, here's kind of the concept I have in mind. So there's a lot less back and forth that happens. So again, there's lots of things that happen within the practice, like I said, from AI note taking, but also from a marketing standpoint. For me, creating content, that's key, and content's king in marketing, as you know. So using AI as the engine to create all those blog posts and articles, and there still needs to be a human in the loop to make sure that the content that's being created resonates with our industry, because it's very unique. So people can point out kind of that slop that happens. But again, it kind of goes back to that taste, discernment, experience of figuring out what's good quality and what's bad quality, and then having those conversations internally with the leadership team and say, we use AI to create all these different things. Here's the good stuff. Here's the bad stuff. And we're going to kind of reiterate on some of these things to just further accelerate the work that we can get out of our working, our partnership.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why we built Azella AI, right? Because we wanted to be able to solve for all of those things in one place, right? There's the aspect of it, like, what do I do? Well, at a top level, we have someone like you as the strategist that comes in and you're looking at, here's your website, here's your marketing channels. Like, here are all the things that you could be doing. But then you go into the Azella AI tool as an example, right? And you can actually see the data right in front of you, right? You can see your opportunities from a keyword perspective. You can see, what from an analytics perspective, how you're doing on social media and how those things compare. But not only that, add that layer in there from a compliance perspective, right? Having that oversight, like you talked about, leveraging AI to generate the content. Well, the Azella AI tool, it's going to review it, right? Whether it was written by a human or whether it was written by AI, just to give that initial compliance check, right, from a workflow perspective. And so we're definitely starting to see a lot of like positive change, with advisors having that at their fingertips and being able to move a lot quicker, like you were talking about. Things move a lot faster. And so we built a solution, we built a tool to really start help solving for that. But in talking about that, right, there's technology and there's people, right? From your perspective, right, how do you see those two things working together, and what is the future of AI from your chair?
Again, I think if you're not using AI in your firm, you're going to get left behind, because so many firms are using it nowadays. And AI is still in its infancy. There's new models coming out every single day. So you have to start becoming familiar with at least the functionality of AI, so that you can start seeing its capabilities and how it can help accelerate your firm, and not only from just a marketing standpoint, but just firm wide. There's all different ways you can implement AI into your practice to make it much more efficient, much more productive, get insights. So if you're having, again, there's all those AI note takers, you're seeing the relationships that are kind of behind the scenes. All those, like interconnected stories that are happening. That develops all the different kinds of content. So yeah, you really need the technology in place, but you also need to take the output that comes out of the technology and those AI systems to look at it from a strategic standpoint, to kind of like connect all the dots, like look at all the different moving pieces. You talked about AI, like prompt engineering, like figuring out what to actually ask these AI systems. I mean, there's a lot of things that AI doesn't know, that it doesn't know to ask you. So you put in some sort of query, but if you don't have the experience to actually prompt the AI to give you the output back, then it's only going to give you so much. And so I think that's where certainly my expertise comes in, is I've spent so much time doing this. I know the right questions to ask, and then setting up the AI models to then deliver that content back to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Joel, thank you for being able to jump on this call. I know we get real busy. There's always a lot of things going on, working with clients, having to attend meetings. This is a great opportunity for advisors who are needing more of that strategic level help when working with Azella. You now have the fractional CMO. You've heard about the fractional marketing manager that's going in, executing, doing all of the work. You've heard about the Azella AI platform that's, builds your website, that handles your newsletters and all your marketing. But now you have the fractional CMO there to help you as well. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.